they are just kids. It's so easy to read.
Wait, who is Jesse Vash talking about here? Oh. Whilst locking is still going on, I wanted to focus on, for me, the shock result of the tournament. Team Secret not only beating Liquid, but absolutely battering them. And I wanted to focus on the 13-7 win on Fracture because it was Liquid's map pick and it really didn't look like it. So how did Secret make Liquid look like absolute kids? We're going to be focusing on Jeremy, who's playing the Rays, because it's the first time that we've seen him at an international event, and he actually did really well.
And Liquid are just crumbling to pieces!
We start with a pistol. Under some initial pressure on A with the KO knife coming in all the way from Dish, we see both Jeremy and Jesse Vash holding to see if there's going to be any follow-up there, but once the rest of the team starts to call it there's utility going towards B, they decide to actually push through A main and wrap around through the attacker's spawn. They also did use the boombot in this position just to be careful that there's no lurk there, they don't just sprint and run like crazy. They do break a tripwire, which puts Soulcast in this position where he's watching the flank, but the first thing I wanted to highlight, which was really good, was just this double peek. You've got Jesse Vash that has a ghost, and then Jeremy that has a frenzy, and Jesse Vash peeks out from a bit of a further distance with that ghost, does die, but in that time it allows Jeremy to sort of hug the right hand wall, get a bit closer, and absolute run for him with the frenzy. With Jeremy and Jesse Vash not only getting that kill, but getting the information that nobody from Liquid is on the bottom side of the B site, it puts a lot of pressure on the rest of Liquid that are playing towards Arcade to adjust. We even see Redgar run all the way under to try and wrap around. And it allows the rest of Secret to sort of set up in nice spots and put the pressure on them. Jeremy does this in a fantastic way, throwing a paint shell into tower where they typically know that Nats is going to play because, I mean, it's Nats, that's what he does. But at the same time as the grenade going off, he gets at least half on the defuse. At this point he knows it's kind of risky to hold on to it, so tries to take the fight against Nats, who does get the kill, but in that time, Dubstep and Envy find those other players from Liquid that are trying to adjust and are feeling the pressure a little bit with that defuse being dedicated.
Hola mi amigo, bom dia. Welcome to Brazil.
Round 3, Secret's bonus, and this is one of the areas that Liquid is going to be scared of. That Raze, Seize, Nade combination. Especially when you have the Breach playing from drop with a stun, those three things combined could do a hell of a lot of damage. So it's not uncommon to see the Raze start here every round. You even see Liquid try and throw out a little bit of utility. After the Prowler gets some information, we see the nade and the stun used on Team Liquid side, as well as a fake Astra smoke that might pull people in. Jeremy actually does really well here to not use that grenade initially in a panic, and instead backs off a little bit, gets the lineup for the boombot, and lets the boombot do the majority of the work. Granted, this is the old version, I still don't understand why they nerfed it. But after a while, Liquid do force out that combination of the Seize and the nade towards A main and decide to go elsewhere. The execute comes out from Team Liquid on this round, and yet again we see Jeremy pushing all the way towards attacker's spawn, and actually doesn't overextend. The spikers have been planted, they know roughly that the majority of Team Liquid is coming from this position, so he sits nice and quietly. But you might have noticed that right in front of him is Nats' camera. And eventually, once Nats isn't killing everybody in tower, he checks it, spots Jeremy, who still gets a kill onto Soulcast. But unfortunately, he's in a 1v2 in a crossfire and it doesn't work out for this round. But otherwise, still a very good bonus.
No way. Certainly not. Jesse Vash, you cannot do this to the man. Unbelievable.
Round 4 does begin to show some of the issues that Team Liquid were consistently facing. In this round, Yampy tries to be super aggro towards A main, dodge the Seize and the nade, all those combinations, and double satchels in to get a little bit deeper. However, not only is he caught by a Prowler that's thrown out instantly from Jesse Vash, but Envy does a really good job of turning the stun to face in this position. It was a good call and a good read to know that Team Liquid were trying to be a bit more aggressive with taking their space. So Yampy gets stunned, he gets taken out from all of this util, and because he was the Raze and Blast packed in, nobody on the side of Team Liquid was there to follow up on Yampy to get a trade perhaps. Jeremy uses the boombot, kinda gets baited out to use his ultimate from the flash the red guy uses on the Breach here. So he pushes up, ends up not really getting much with the ultimate, but they take a lot of space on A main. He's also not afraid to aggressively jiggle peek for a little bit of information where yet again sees the Breach stood out. And yep, you're seeing it, that Raze nade combination is about to come in again. Jesse Vash is the one jiggle peeking to just see if he can get some info, and as soon as he spots one, that combination comes in. Whilst the Seize and the nade don't actually get any kills, look on the minimap how it separates Redgar from the rest of the team. Jeremy does a really good job getting this kill, but it's another player from Team Liquid that's pushed up on A main on their own, where nobody else on their team is actually around to trade them. and then this becomes a bit more of an awkward fight, and Safe wants to save the guns so Liquid run out of time.
Let's skip to the good part.
Don't worry, we're not focusing on every single round. I did want to use this eco buy for Liquid to again sort of highlight why Team Secret is getting such a good read on them. The first is that the setup from Liquid is kind of obvious, really. Easy to say in hindsight for me, but Secret seem to be on the money. They've seen every time that the Raze is somewhere on the map, the Breach is there shortly just behind. Makes sense. A lot of teams do this in the pro scene, having their star duelist being followed around by not only the IGL, but an agent like Breach, which has amazing utility to support. The problem, however, is that Team Secret are sort of aware of this, and it's a big tell on where Liquid are trying to position and posture for the start of a round. Here, the only thing that's used from Liquid is a boombot, and then Jesse Vash uses a pretty straightforward lineup for the Haunt, which doesn't catch anything. And he's been doing this consistently through the first 5 rounds of this half. But hearing the boombot and hearing nothing towards A main, Secret are pretty sure that Dish is going to be attacked first. And this is another little nice setup from the trio over on the A site. You got the Prowler that as soon as it's broken, the stun comes in from Breach that's playing in CT. And yet again, we kind of see that disconnection between Yampy and Redgar here. Both are caught out. Yampy can at least escape, but Redgar's caught with his trousers down. Even here, the Seize is used to make sure that Yampy can't get far away. And as soon as Secret have an inkling of where Liquid are going to be, they're not afraid to set up a set play that absolutely catches them by surprise. And this isn't like 200 IQ stuff. This is what Fracture is built on, just these set plays, little traps that you could set up, and Liquid just seem to be falling into every single one of them. Not only that, they made it worse for themselves because they dropped the spike right in the open for Team Secret to hold.
I can't believe they've broken Liquid like this!
This round was fantastic from Secret. It's such a good read on what they were expecting Liquid to do, and Liquid again kind of falls right into Secret's trap. Firstly, look at where Team Secret are playing. They only have one towards B, which was Jesse Vash. He threw a Prowler, he threw a Haunt towards B main, and the rest of Team Secret are actually heading towards A, off the back of nothing really. The same KO knife that we've been seeing used from Safe all the way from Dish. Why is that? Well, look at the ultimates that are available now for Liquid, but also closely available for Redgar. They have the KO ult, they have a Cosmic Divide, and they have a Rolling Thunder about to come online. And the ultimates that Team Secret have themselves are also pretty good. Their own Rolling Thunder and Orbital Strike, and one away from their own Showstopper. And this is why Team Secret have such an unorthodox setup, because they're expecting this KO ult to be used. If it's used towards A, well, there's 4 people there ready to try and fight them and trade off of these engagements. And if the KO ult's used on a B execute, well, you've got some Cypher trips there which aren't going to be impacted because the Cypher's all the way on the A site. And with the ultimates that Team Secret have themselves and how well these B defuses have been going on the retakes, they're happy to give the site up near enough completely and just play retake after these ultimates are used. Unfortunately for Liquid, Nats decides to push on his own to try and lurk through and gets caught by Dubstep. Again, highlighting Liquid not trading off each other, playing in a different synchronicity, and it looking pretty awful in some cases. After Secret get this kill, the majority of the team moves over towards B, but still plays off the site. They're expecting these ultimates, they're expecting a fast execute, and they see that Redgar actually picks up the orb as well, so that Rolling Thunder's available. And here we are, we see Liquid execute with 2 big ultimates, the Rolling Thunder first, and then the Astra ult, and then the KO ult. And look at Team Secret, just chilling, not affected at all, happy to give up the site, which I think sends Liquid into a bit of a frenzy. Liquid were hoping to find somebody, catch them and find themselves in an advantage, but they haven't found much, so they decide to push through the Astra ult that they put down to take these engagements and end up being isolated. Before even Team Secret go for a retake, they've won the round. It's actually mad.
Oh my word, Secret!
The final round I wanted to discuss was round 10, and this is a round again where Team Secret take control of it, instantly using the Showstopper. They have 4 players towards the bottom of the B side. Lots of stuff thrown out, and Jeremy does get the kill on Soulcast that's caught out in the open. But because of how well Team Secret has been reading the game, they get that early pick on the bottom of B, expect the rest of the team to either be around them or on the top side of the map, and waste no time to actually Nightfall from underneath, as well as Rolling Thunder across Arcade and Tower. And this could have been a moment for Liquid where they've seen that 3 or 4 players have pushed down B main, they could do something fast and try and catch them out. But a little bit of hesitation causes big ultimates to be used from Secret, which causes a lot more hesitation. Any momentum or information that Liquid could have gathered in this situation, they were unable to, and they just sort of freeze for a bit and try and find an opening. Does this mean that Team Liquid is an absolute dog water team now? No, not at all. Especially with the players that they have, it's going to take a while to mesh. It's the first time that we've seen Redgar call in English, I'm pretty sure, on this team in an official game. You can scrim for hours upon hours on end, have the most scrim time, have the most scrim wins, but that doesn't always translate to wins in officials. Especially when there's a lot of pressure on you, and not a lot of expectations on the opponent. That's the other side of this that kind of annoyed me. Team Secret are a good team. They've always been a pretty good team. These new additions that they've had with Jeremy and Envy since Champions of 2021 have made this team better. The expectations on Team Secret were bedrock when they absolutely shouldn't have been, and I'm really excited to watch more of them in the Pacific region when that rolls around. For Liquid, it's clear that it's just teething pains from a new squad. Bad communication, players running out on the road not being traded, even simple stuff like a player not clearing a haunt when it's thrown when it should be their job. For me this series it did look like Redgar just overheated. He had a lot to work on, he's calling in English for the first time, he has to be the support player for the rest of his team, whilst also try and get a read on what the opponent is doing. And it felt that he wasn't able to do any of that really. But I still believe him and the rest of Liquid can pull this around, but kind of like I said about Paper X, I think it's going to be a rough first couple of weeks once the EMEA season rolls around. Thanks for watching, take care. If you want to see some other analysis videos like this, check the channel, and I'll see you next time.